Hello, Jimvitational fans. It's me, Callous Narrates. YouTube.com/Callous Narrates. Back for another guest narration. This one, tragically, is the lower bracket, and that means we will be saying goodbye to one of these competitors at the end of this match. Don't know which one, haven't watched the games, eager to find out with you. So, we have Starmaster, who at one point in time was like the most dominant tournament player in Pokemon. He had back-to-back SPLs in multiple formats where he went like 10-1 or whatever. He dominated in, I believe, Gen 7 and then Gen 3 and was just absolutely on top of the world. And likewise, in the early goings of Callous Invitational, Starmaster was balls deep. I think he had top 6 or top 8 3 years in a row, which is incredible. But whether it is bad luck or something else, in the more recent years, he's run into a bit of a problem. He went 0-2 in each of the last two Callous Invitationals, 6 and 7, and then obviously to be in the lower bracket in round 2 right now, he also lost round 1 in this tournament. So he's actually lost all 5 of his most recent, if you will call this Callous Invitational matches. Now, normally I would just chalk that up to bad luck, variance, things happen, but if there were a single sign from the universe that one should retire and that your good Mons days are over, it is the fact that Star lost to Jabba the Griffin. That's it. Time to pack it up. You're done. There's no coming back from that. I personally, if that happened to me, and it never has and never will, I would have just dropped from the tournament and quit. That would have been the end. But Star valiantly is fighting on through that humiliation, and now he's here against Kristyl. Kristyl is awesome. She is not an ADV main, but she can definitely handle the tier. She's one of the best DPPers, but she plays all old gens really well, and this is a very unfortunate pairing for her, because these are two of the overall strongest pilots and just true tournament winners that have to fight each other in the lower bracket in round 2 and knock each other out. I'm really a fan of both of these players. Kristyl and I go way back as well. We won ROAPL together a number of years ago. Quite a fan of hers as well as both a player and a person. But there could only be one. Will it be Starmaster, the chump who lost to Jabba the Griffin, or Kristyl? Here's game 1 in their best of 3. Starmaster on the bottom with a Jinx. That is a pretty big change up from his usual. I know him as a standard TSS player through and through, but hey, I guess we're going to take some chances and mix stuff up. It hasn't been working. Haven't won a lot of matches in Callous Invitational recently. Let's try something new. And Jinx, I guess, is something new. It's going to mean look trap the Fori, but Earthquake is going to threaten a kill on the Jinx. Perish Song, huh? That doesn't... I was going to say, the only way that makes sense is if there's a Dugtrio in the back. Yep, going to substitute down, and I think Krystyl's a giant noob cakes for Earthquaking there. You clearly should spike since you're definitely going to die. I don't understand the Earthquakes. Why wouldn't you spike? Please. There we go. I think she should have done that before. I also think that Star is gonna have a spinner in the back, because obviously doing a sequence like that, he knows that the opponent can just sit there and spike up before it perishes. So the spinner felt pretty obvious to me. There is the one layer. The Claydol did not get a rapid spin off yet, but so far it doesn't look like Kristyl has anything that would stop that. She does get the better end of this though, getting Zapdos in on Suicune. And surprisingly, Star is going to stay, but that was a good prediction for him because he must have known that Roar was coming. Might as well do some damage on the way out and not take more spikes damage than you need to. Claydol finds its way in, willing to eat a Surf or a Hydro Pump in exchange for that spin. Fair enough. It is a 47% Surf. And Suicune re-enters, hit with a surprise Toxic. Probably not thrilled about that. Clearly a very stally team. Fori Registeel on Krystyl's end. Last poke, probably a special wall, could be Blissey or something, but I guess it could be Gengar. Could see like Blissey, Gengar, Rachi. Rest there going to get rid of the poison problem, sitting on +1/+1 from the Calm Mind, but we know that Zapdos has Roar if she's worried about it. And indeed, Roar it is. prompting the Dugtrio out, which may or may not have Rock Slide. It doesn't always carry that. Remember, it's got to make room for Substitute, so it's got to drop at least one of its normal attacking moves. Thunderbolt coming down on Dull. Blanking, of course, but we know it is Toxic. Switches out to Pert to be safe. And the Sand goes away temporarily via a Rain Dance, but T-Tar is still in the game. And here it is on command, Sand reestablished as two sleeping Pokemon stare down each other. One of them we know when it's going to wake up. One of them unpredictable. Registeel is going to S-Toss the Coon. We know that this has no chance of ever killing. It is set damage equal to its level, so exactly 100 damage. You can see based on the percentage that this is a 404 HP Suicune. Therefore, these Seismic Tosses are never going to get it done through the rest. So Kristyl at some point is going to have to switch to Zapdos on the sleeping Suicune and then roar it away. And that seems to be the plan right now. Suicune has not shown that it has Sleep Talk, though it still could. He could be sandbagging it this whole time. Seems more likely that that's not the case. I feel like you would have used it by now if he had it, but not a guarantee. Last poke lacks for Starmaster as he curses up. Registeel should be able to handle that unless it has EQ. And there's Protect, but I don't know what she was protecting against. Maybe the aforementioned EQ. I don't see Lax booming there ever. Feels like a weird Protect in my opinion. Don't think I love that turn for Kristyl. But not the end of the world. Body Slam and S-Toss respectively. Body Slam doing a little bit more. Don't know that I love that Protect either because you're just inviting more curses. But in this case, she does get it right. And T-Tar reappears. Still taking a nap. In fact, has killed 0 of those sleep turns. So not due to wake up anytime soon. And Star is not taking advantage by cursing further. He's just attacking. So +2/+2 he deems good enough. Body Slam twice in a row. And Tar still having sweet dreams. Maybe one more Body Slam gets it done. It does. 30%, 30%, 30%. How consistent. And now the Registeel reappears. Starmaster with a 5-4 lead. Kristyl still with a hidden poke in the back. Body Slam, 25%, no para. Lax getting a little bit lower here. Is it finally time to pull the trigger on Boom and or Rest? I assume it is Boom rather than Rest, since it is not a Magneton team. Be pretty garbage to have a Rest Lax without Magneton. That can't possibly be right. Body Slam does not get it done, but full para kicks in at a bad time for Kristyl. That's really bad. Would have killed the Lax otherwise. Yeah, fair enough. Kristyl falls even further behind now. Zapdos should be able to get this done, but Starmaster could just switch to Claydol if he thinks Thunderbolt is coming, and that's exactly what he does. Aerodactyl shown to be the last poke for Kristyl. Much less exciting with no spikes down. Nevertheless, fodder happens. It's the Lax, of course. Leaves us at a 3-4. Make that a 3-2. Now favoring Starmaster via the Explosion trade. Zapdos does get the better end on Suicune, however, but it's the same deal. Might just be a Thunderbolt into Doll. Kristyl again with a good double back. Knows the Doll is coming. Uses that as an opportunity to get Arrow in. And she has equalized the game with that hidden power, taking out Dugtrio. Zapdos in yet again as the Suicune wakes up. Surf there, just 25%. Not that exciting. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Does she make the play again? No. This time, she's going to opt for Rest, rather than getting the arrow in on the Claydol turn. Sleep Talk Roar, fair enough. Claydol doesn't even get to do anything. And it's obviously going to be another Sleep Talk here. We'll see what she finds. And it is Rest, which of course does nothing, unlike in GSC. She's got to be careful about not getting boomed on here. Rain Dance this time is going to permanently remove the sand. And Arrow comes in. That's ballsy, but she's right yet again. Getting in on the Doll again. Rock Slide, however, is not the correct prediction. I'm surprised that she didn't go for Double Edge there, which would have been good against both possible targets. But Rock Slide it is, and a pretty underwhelming Psychic at just 32% comes back. Rock Slide, however, whiffs, and that's going to enable the boom. And now, I don't think that's what he wanted to boom on. That Boom was hoping to catch the other Mon, but as it stands, Zapdos should eat the Suicune for lunch here, and Starmaster is in an unfamiliar and frustrating position, I believe. Starmaster can still win this game, but if Kristyl gets this here, which is getting more and more dicey as the sleep talks happen. I didn't think he had sleep talk, but he does. Alright, hold that thought. I was going to say Starmaster one game away from being 0-6 in his last Callous Invitational matches, but he might win this game, actually. PP is a factor here. It isn't just a matter of Suicune actually killing Zapdos, which it might. Zapdos might just flat out run out of Thunderbolts here, Thunderbolting into a Pressure Mon over and over again. She actually needs to find a crit pretty quickly. If the Suicune wakes up and surfs, we're done. So Starmaster is actually going to win this game unless a critical hit happens ASAP. And it does not. Hold the phone. Hold the damn phone. Starmaster pulls this one back. It was looking to me like Kristyl had this one in the bag when it came down to Zapdos against Suicune, but Starmaster hid the sleep talk that whole damn time. It looked like he didn't have it, but it makes sense that he would on this kind of team. It's just Boom Spam, which usually goes down to Crocoon. Roarcoon, not nearly as exciting on this kind of team. He doesn't really have spikes or anything to take advantage of it, and he's not really a balance or a fat team at all. He's very offensive. He's Boom Spam, so Crocoon is the obvious set, but for a minute it didn't look like he had it. At the end, he showed that he did. And then it just came down to RNG. It just came down to, does the Zapdos find the crit in time? What are the damage rolls, etc., etc.? The crit didn't come, and instead of PP stalling Kristyl out, Suicune is going to win the old-fashioned way by surfing it down with all those boosts behind it. So now it is Kristyl, the Canadian player, one game away from an 0-2 elimination. Let's see if Star can make that happen, but we will go ahead and switch those sides for continuity. Let's go to game 2. Star on the bottom again, Kristyl on the top again. She's got Suicune again, and Starmaster has really, truly changed it up. He is not a big Jinx guy, he is not a big Smeargle guy, but that is the kind of stuff he's bringing in this set. Starmaster has turned over a new leaf. He has realized after losing to Jabba the Griffin that everything he's ever thought about Pokemon is wrong, and he needs a complete reset. And as such, he is now an aggro player, as we see. That being said, DD-Ment's kind of an issue here. Now DD-Ment's more than kind of an issue here. Yeah, I mean, it's not going to sweep as it's looking. Seems that it does not have Earthquake, but it already killed Zapdos and T-Tar and did that much damage to the Metagross. That is devastatingly bad. Now, granted, this is a little bit closer than it looks because Krystyl's only up a Mon. Oh, now she's up 2, but the Magneton is asleep, so it was like even-ish until that kill. Now Kristyl is clearly ahead in a pretty fast game. 4 Mons dead, make that 5 Mons dead, just 10 turns in. This is a pretty quick one, and Starmaster with a sarcastic, yeah, why not, in the battle chat, clearly frustrated by his lack of luck in his recent invitational tournament matches. Surf coming down. Surf back, but not nearly as exciting. They are both suffering from status problems in the burn and the poison, respectively. They're going to exchange Surfs, and Swampert gets a little boost from Torrent, but Swampert's also about to drop to the poison there. It eats a Salic just for good measure on the way out, but they're both going to drop, and it leaves us in a 4-1. Kristyl being the 4, and Kristyl being the only, as she takes out Starmaster in a pretty quick one. 14 turns. I mean, that is pretty damn fast. I mean, that's like one... I won't go there. I held it back. We're gonna not get Jim demonetized here. Let's go to game 3. It's 1-1 here, and the loser of the next game will be eliminated. Alrighty, I will switch sides one final time for continuity. Starmaster on the bottom, Kristyl on the top. Hopefully, this one goes longer than 14 turns. But like I said, the winner will remain in the tournament in the lower bracket, and the loser will be out. Now would be a fantastic time. It won't bug you guys too much. Please hit that like button and consider subscribing to Revival Tournaments and supporting Jim and the Jimvitational. A lot of work, a lot of effort goes into hosting these things. Show them some love. And also, feel free to say anything you'd like in the comments. I always like reading them, unless you're bitching about the video quality. Then I don't like reading them. Okay, here we go. Starmaster Kristyl, Game 3. Wow, Smeargle again. Fair enough. This is already reminding me of the previous game. Starmaster really has just changed his entire ADV outlook after the trauma of being defeated by Jabba. Rapid Spin blocked there by Gengar. She did not see it coming. And Will-O-Wisp there cannot burn something already napping. T-Tar comes in. Fair enough. That's a good mon to take advantage of a sleeping poke on the other side. Here comes Dougie. Teach me how to Dougie. Rock Slide there. Pretty good. Earthquake there. Also pretty good, but not good enough. And EQ knocks out the Mole Trio, giving Starmaster the first KO. Dragon Dance. Wow. That's the worst possible play. Earthquake or Rapid Spin would have been better, but she Psychics into the Tar, anticipating the Gengar. Starmaster with the outplay on that turn, and a critical hit for additional punishment. Rapid Spin happens, but that doll is almost dead. And now it is dead. So one small mistake cascades there into a much bigger problem. Starmaster in a commanding position, up 2 mons. And Hydro Pump through the flinch chance and the imperfect accuracy is going to swing and miss. This is not looking like much of a game, unfortunately. She gets it on the second try, but boy is Kristyl behind. 5-4 advantage and a Suicune on the Respirator. And indeed, the cord gets pulled and it is in the ground. 5-3 now for Starmaster with 2 unrevealeds. Make that one unrevealed. Where there's a Jirachi, there's a way. Maybe some Serene Grace nonsense. Pulls it back just in case. EQ whiffs on Zapdos, but there is a problem. Zapdos is still sleeping, but it wakes up when it needs to and kills the Smeargle. Better than nothing. Kristyl still definitely behind, though, in what is now a 4-3 situation. Zapdos on Zapdos exchanging T-Bolts. Kristyl with the superiorly trained Zapdos, dealing more damage with the bolts. And Starmaster drops. Hey, 3-3. Air quotes tie. Not anymore. 3-2. Gengar last. Swampert last. Will-O-Wisp 75%. Swing and a miss. Jirachi comes in again. Surf isn't an issue, but EQ sure will be. Here comes Gengar, hoping that it's EQ. It is not. It is Substitute. Well, Gengar better have a Grass attack then, and it does. HP Grass, sure. Surf, pretty good chunk there at 43%, but HP Grass threat is real on what seems to be an Endeavor pert there. Hidden Power is not so good against his Gengar counterpart. Feel the burn, baby, burn. Thunderbolt there looking for a crit or a para. Gets neither, and the faster Gaur belongs to Starmaster. Not good for Kristyl. Here comes Meta. Hidden Power, not where you want to be. 11% not going to do it. Going to need a desperate para or freeze or some kind of added effect. Right there, had she somehow clicked HP Grass again, she would have killed the Swampert, but Starmaster pivoting really well. She does make a good prediction there and snipes out the Gaur, so fair enough. Thunderbolt takes that down. We've got ourselves a 2-2, but Gengar on its final turn before the burn takes it. We end up again with Swampert on Rachi. Like I said, this is an Endeavor pert. It does not have Earthquake. And there is the sub. It's going to be a close one here, and the loser is eliminated. Rachi calm minding up. Gonna get big, and there's not a lot that Swampert can do here. Maybe, because the last move really varies on the Endeavor set. Looking for Roar here, ideally, but it could just be like Ice Beam or Focus Punch, which would not help. Ice Beam at least gives the out of a freeze. I mean, yeah, it's hard to switch now if you're Starmaster, so I guess we go through these motions. And it is Roar all along, just playing it really, really safe. So Guard dies to the burn after all that, and here we are. Ice Punch for the freeze. Nope, but we'll have one more chance at it. Ice Punch for the freeze, 20%. Okay, it's not Boom, it's EQ, so one more chance, freeze or bust. 20% Serene Grace freeze! Gets it! But it insta-thaws anticlimactically, and the Jirachi falls to the Earthquake. This last one was tight, certainly one of the better games. Kristyl says, quote, "This sucked." And yeah, Starmaster also felt that some of these games have sucked. It is a whole world full of suck, but one of them will get to experience the suck of competitive Pokemon in the next round. That is our victor, Starmaster, by a count of 2-1. Kristyl, who, like I said at the beginning of the video, I have tremendous respect for in all old gens, very much including ADV, is going to go out with an unfortunate and unlucky 0-2 this time around. But like I said, she's really good, someone I would want on my team anytime, any format, any day of the week. Just not her tour, and it happens. The most surprising part of this match to me is that there is, in fact, victory. There is, in fact, life after losing to Jabba the Griffin. That, to me, it feels scientifically impossible. I'm going to go meditate on it and try to come up with the answer. But in the meantime, I appreciate you guys watching. Hit that like button and support Jim. My YouTube channel, if you want to check out my stuff, is youtube.com/Callous Narrates. Thank you guys. Hope to see you again.